Morning, it's Lexi. It's Raptor Freak. Monday morning. Wow, what a bright, sunny, beautiful Monday morning in Toronto, baby. Woo! Let's go! Wow! Did you see what I saw? What an amazing game. So incredible to see all the Raptors finally together on the court. And let me tell you, we saw some stuff that we talked about at the beginning of the season that we'd hope we'd see. And it happened. It happened. Oh my gosh. We saw positionless basketball, combinations, permutations, and different things that they did with the team yesterday that are really fantastic to see. Stuff for the future is going to be really fun to watch. I mean, the stuff with no point guard, with Scotty running things, and the things like the big lineups they put out there yesterday. Oh my gosh. They had a lineup out there with what? Kem Burge, Chris Boucher, and Pascal. And then Scotty was at this 2 guard, guys. Scotty was playing shooting guard last night at times, and it was amazing. Oh my gosh. MK, good morning. Yeah, what a great game yesterday. There was so much good stuff that's happening. Andrew, let's go. Woo! Bing bong. Oh man, and seeing Masai sitting in the arena by himself on that one side, the picture I used for this live stream to start. Listen, man, Masai Ujiri, I love the fact that he gets to sit there, have this seat all to himself, and watch his creation in motion for the first time, the first game of the new year. And finally, all of them were there. And boy, was it glorious. It was a glorious game. It was a fantastic game. We did what I hoped would happen. We got a good jumped out on them like we did on the Clippers on Friday night. And then we kept that double-digit lead the whole game through. Didn't let them close. Kept it going, poured the syrup on. I mean, near the end, of course, the bench guys came in and there was a little bit of a catch up on the margin, but for the most part, no worries in this game. Just a great game of watching Nick Nurse get to experiment with the combinations of the different guys. And I think we saw the pecking order of the team for the most part and how he sees it and how they got played last night. Now, I'm not mad that Scotty started. I love that Scotty started yesterday because it was a good look for the team we were playing. But if we have issues with we're going to have to go play Jokic and people like that in the future, then, we may need to think about having a bigger guy out there. But starting small was great. And they only played Scotty for like the first 4 minutes. And then Kem came right in after that, if you noticed. So it was a very interesting way that Nick Nurse was switching guys in and out. And he really did a really good job. But you can see there's tiers of talent on this team in the way he looks at it right now. Obviously, we've got our big three who have been performing at such an amazing level already. OG, Fred, and Pascal. Obviously, Fred VanVleet, 7 3-pointers yesterday. This man is an all-star, G. You are right. And this is what I was thinking. I was like, all right, he's going to get some good votes. And it's true. Michael Grange tweeted this yesterday. If the Raptors can start rolling, getting a bunch of W's right now, we can help propel Fred VanVleet into the all-star starting lineup. Yeah. Wouldn't it be beautiful and amazing if we could get a DeMar Fred VanVleet starting lineup for the Eastern Conference this year? It's going to be a tall order because there's a lot of guards. I mean, James Harden's involved in this. Different other people in the Eastern Conference are, but that would be my dream starting all-star too. DeMar and Fred, and we know both of them deserve it. We've seen it already, but we really got to show that Freddie really deserves it by reeling off a nice, good win streak during this voting period. Yeah, and if he's scoring 30-point games during it, it's not going to hurt because his stats are good, and it looks like he should be an all-star for sure. And listen, the other thing that's going to happen is on the down low, Pascal Siakam will get an all-star too. Yeah, because the coaches know what kind of talent he is and they respect him. So he will get on the team by the coach's pick afterwards. I truly believe that's what's going to happen this year with the all-stars, is that Fred will get voted in, hopefully by our guys. If he doesn't, then maybe he gets consideration to get on the team by the coaches. But Pascal should get strong consideration also. It's amazing. Oh my gosh. Andrew says, could be a lot of dropouts for the All-Star game due to COVID. So maybe Fred can sneak in and start. Yeah, any of this kind of stuff. I think that he deserves to start without anybody dropping out. But, it's going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out. But let's talk about the game yesterday, y'all. So many interesting things happened in this game. Like I was just saying, Scotty got the start. And, they listed OG as the center, which is hilarious because who is the center between those three guys? Pascal's technically the tallest. Scotty may be the heaviest. But OG was the center to start yesterday. Crazy. But Taj Gibson didn't do anything that bad. And it wasn't a big deal. But they did yank Scotty quick. And maybe because he hadn't been back, this is his first game back. And Kem came in pretty early and quick. But listen, I really love this, the guys that he brought in off the bench. Like, I was worried Precious was getting forgotten at a certain point because he wasn't getting in as soon as Chris and Svi and people. And I was like, okay, then he brought in Precious, and Precious got a good chunk of time. But you see the pecking order and the guys who are actually in the real rotation with everybody involved. And you see that, Malachi, Delano, Justin, these guys, Yuta even is on the cusp of these guys are going to be at the end of the bench and they're not going to get to play a lot. But Svi was still in that rotation. And, he didn't do anything for most of the 10 minutes he played yesterday, but he did still didn't do anything really bad either. So it was kind of that. So hopefully Darren doesn't show up and just start slamming Svi for an hour. I don't want to do that today. So okay, let's see what's going on. G saying Knicks fans really want Fred. We're mad that they didn't go after him more aggressively in free agency. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would love to have Fred. A lot of people wanted to have Kyle. That was the luxury we've been playing with for a couple of years now, that we had two of the best point guards in the whole entire NBA. And that was part of the reason why we didn't need to give Kyle a bunch of money, because we had a younger version of Kyle in some ways on his way up, who's coming into his prime years now. So it was brilliant. So yeah, Miami fans, we're glad you have Lowry and you're paying him and he's still in this league, because we love Lowry and we want him to be good too. But there was too many cooks in the kitchen here in Toronto, and that's just how it went. And yes, they all covet Fred VanVleet. But I'm going to tell you right now, Fred is a real one. He is 100% Toronto, and he's loyal to us, y'all. Now, if Chicago came to him and gave him something eventually, yeah, he might think about it. But for the most part, his heart is here in Toronto, and he will stay with us as long as possible. I know this because when I talked to him, when I met him, he is a real one. He loves Toronto. He loves us. And, just what I said to him, it reinforced our love for him. And he feels it, y'all. Fred feels it. And that's why he's going to be loyal to us. And if there is any kind of point where contracts or something like that, he's going to strongly give us consideration. And he's also possibly even going to go discount just to help us win more chips. Listen, I'm telling you, that's the kind of guy he is. And they can covet him all they want. He's a Raptor. We gave him his shot. He grew with us, and he's become who he is in our system. And he knows that if he goes to other systems, he goes to other teams, he could get screwed around with. He goes to New York, that franchise may jerk him around all kinds of which ways, and he'll totally regret for the rest of his life. So he knows what he's got here, and they can covet him all they want because he ain't going nowhere. Trust me, this guy's not going anywhere. I trust in that. Let's see. Rotations were fantastic, honestly. The numbers overall, like for minutes of who played and stuff like that. I mean, Pascal had 35 minutes, and it was the most minutes anybody had, and barely anybody was over 30 minutes. And there was weird stuff like Gary getting those fouls in the game was very strange. And then him fouling out like very early in the game, that kind of made the minutes weird. And I think that's part of the reason why we saw Scotty playing shooting guard for so much in the second half. I mean, it was fantastic to see because we had two centers and then like Pascal, and then we had Fred and Scotty at the top of the key playing as guards. And then, that just smacks of all the versatility, the craziness of Scotty Barnes' game, that he can be switching in this middle of the same game. He's playing shooting guard. He's playing point guard. He's playing center defensively at times. This kid is amazing. And honestly, the NBA was trying to hide the hype on him and the reality of who he is and his skills and his tools from everyone. And we were the ones that knew the secret. We had been in on this the whole time, and we weren't going to let this guy pass us. No, we weren't. And those top 3 picks are going to really, they're going to wonder why they didn't pick the person that they should have picked, and that's Scotty Barnes. He should have been the number 1 pick in this draft. I'm not lying. I mean, the way he's playing, and what I love. All right, listen, y'all saw those 2 3-pointers in a row that he did that last night. That is just a little preview of what's to come. Like, that dude just figured out, whoa, maybe I can do this sometimes and like make a lot of points really quick and fast in the game. Well, he figures out how to do that more and control it and stuff like that. Look out. This dude is going to be scoring buckets and getting people wins for teams. And that's going to be our team. And it's going to be amazing. And oh my gosh, so many good things to talk about. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. MK saying Pascal's looking like his pre-bubble self. It's great to watch. I'm telling you, y'all, in Tampa, he was hurt. He looked like hot garbage the last half of the season last year because his shoulder was messed up, and he's healed. He's 100%. He's feeling fantastic. Can't you tell? I mean, the man is a surgeon. The way that he destroys defenses right now is nasty. It is nasty. And the rest of the league needs to be worried right now because we are coming strong at everybody now. This is just the beginning. We just rang the bell, and the game has started now. 2022 is when we started, that we heard the gun from the line to start, because the beginning of the season, this whole part coming up, this was all just getting healthy. This was going through protocols. This was going through all this other crap. And now it's time. And I know these guys love this vibe. I know these guys love being all together. They don't want to mess this up. So let's keep this going. Hopefully, God willing, no injuries, no more contact tracing weirdness. I think we all got it recently. And I don't know how immunities are and stuff like that. Maybe we're good for the rest of the season with the tracing and stuff like that. We're going to have a badass January. Oh, yeah. I feel it. It is coming. All right, let's keep going. MK, his rebounding has been amazing. Not only his rebounding, his assists are up. It's really interesting how Pascal is becoming such a more complete player. Like, we've always seen him kind of one-dimensionally as just a scorer lately, and we forget about the amount of rebounding he does for the team, because he does do it, but it's so understated over the years. But we're finally seeing it, and we're really appreciating it, because he had a 19 rebound game recently, and we're seeing him crashing the boards and stuff like that. He was flirting with a triple double yesterday, and I love that. He just make a couple more passes, he had a triple double. I mean, it is the old Pascal pre-bubble, what you're saying, but it's a little bit different because it is a little bit older, wiser, and a little bit more determined Pascal Siakam than even that one you're talking about. And that's why he's even more dangerous. All right, let's keep going. Sue, good morning. Good morning. What a great game, Sue. What a joy to watch. I love that it was in the middle of the day, so my girlfriend wasn't falling asleep by the end of it. It was so sad. But no, it was fun. It was a great game. Let's see. G saying Pascal playing out of position last season helped him develop his rebounding. Now that he can play in his position, it's coming together. I hated that last year. Pascal should never be playing the center. That's why if I see Cam or Chris or Precious out there, I know he doesn't have to play center. That's why I'm so hesitant about not having one of them in the starting lineup. But if Nick Nurse will pull the plug on a small lineup early, really quick, if it's not working right away, I'm all fine with him starting Scotty and doing everything he's doing right now. Because, honestly, this team is bad as fuck. I mean, seriously, our top 7 guys are something else. And then we've got Boucher, who's kind of just on the edge of that top 7. And, a couple more guys like Svi and Yuta that are in the rotation too. And then you got, Delano Banton's not even in our top 10 guys now at this point in some ways, as far as who's going to play. So this team has a lot of role players and talent to be able to win a championship. And this is what I saw at the beginning of the season, is when you have this team all together, this is a nasty team that can beat anybody because of its energy, its defense, its rebounding, and it's just sheer talent and athleticism that you match at position, the way we're built and the way we can mix guys and put guys in that can dribble and still be tall, and then you can have like it's just going to be really nasty. And if we stay healthy going forward for the rest of this season, I honestly listen. I was looking at the standings real close this morning, and I'm like, we should get to 5th or 6th in the standings for sure in the East. I was like, no, fuck that. Listen, we get a good streak going. We could go take Chicago and Brooklyn spot at the top still because the margins aren't that big. It's like 6 or 7 games right now. So if we win like 10 games in a row, we might be right up there with them in like a month from now. I'm not lying. Like, seriously, I know we're going to lose some games too. But if we can win like 70% of our games or 60% of our games in the next 2 months, we will be up there with Chicago and Brooklyn battling for top of the East. And I really, truly believe that this could be the future of the Raptors coming up real quick. Because listen, we're winning these games. Yeah, sure, New York, whatever. Clippers were a tough team. And that game that we beat them on New Year's Eve, that was good because we still didn't have our legs. There's problems with chemistry sometimes when everybody just comes back like that. And we got through those little problems fine. And we won the game and executed. So the writing's on the wall right now. We're about to do some special stuff and it's coming quick. All right, let me keep going on what you guys are saying. Andrew saying Scotty hit back-to-back 3-pointers. I know. And it's like, all right, he had a little like aha moment, little light bulb moment go over his head. He's like, look, I can do this, or we're gonna see him do this. He's gonna have these little point spurts where he just takes over and gets a bunch of points for us all of a sudden, because he's really got to just figure out how he can put his will on the game in the way that he wants to for how we need him to at that time. And I mean, we saw like there was some other crazy shot he made and some other plays and that precious block. I mean, the athleticism and the things that our team can do and any given play and the things that they're doing is insane. It's insane. Like the potential and the possibilities for this team are I don't even know how to describe them. I don't think there is any ceiling. It's just like how Precious sees his game. There's no ceiling to what the possibility of what Precious could become. There's no ceiling to what Scotty could become. And there's no ceiling to what this team overall could become by the end of the season if they stay healthy and they get lots of time together. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be real nasty. Sue, Fred VanVleet was a monster. I don't think he even played in the 4th, did he? Pascal and OG looking good too. Loving how OG is getting really aggressive around the basket, and Scotty blows me away. All of this, Sue. Yeah, I don't think Fred did play that much late in the game. I mean, he picked his spots and he did really well. And I love what he said after the game. He was saying that it's a lot easier for me to take shots off screens and catch and shoot than try and manufacture my shot by running around and dribbling around guys and trying to. He likes being off the ball and catching the ball and shooting. And that's what he was doing a bit of last night that made it easier for him to score a lot of points. And that's the thing. If Scotty's going to start dribbling the ball more, and Pascal also, those are the 2 names Nick Nurse said after the game that he's been working on, those guys handling the point guard for us, Pascal and Scotty. Then Fred's going to get these easy shots with no contact where he's just open. The shots that Svi should be getting, the shot that Gary should be getting normally. They do. So Fred starts getting more of those. It'll be easy for him to get a 30-point game without having to work so hard and in less time and stuff like that. I love the possibilities of that. It's amazing. And then look, all right, let's talk about OG real quick. OG at the beginning of the game wanted to establish his presence down low, and boy, didn't he. He's a bull. He is the bull. OG the bull Anunoby. Because, look, man, he forces his will to the basket and he just puts it in. Nobody can do nothing about that. I mean, in the past, he's gotten offensive fouls for this, but he's doing it in the right way now so that it is basically they got to call a foul on the other guy because of what he's doing. And I love that he doesn't give up and he gets up and underneath and he lays it and he makes it no matter what. OG is going to get more and more points as we go forward from now. He had a really good game in the first game against the Clippers, and this game he wasn't as many points, but he was still involved, and it's still in part of things. And I'm looking forward to seeing him get a 30-point game sometime soon, and I want to see that shutdown defense that we know and we see with our eyes again. I know it's out there, and it's already happening now, but I really want to see it against good tests. test against premium offensive players in this league. I want to see us play one of the best teams in the league, like Phoenix, who's coming to Toronto in a couple of weeks. I want to see how we handle them with our defense. It's going to be so fun to watch that kind of battle. So, and then the other thing you're talking about, Scotty, amazing. Yeah, Scotty, he's just growing in front of our eyes. We see something totally new and different about what he can do possibly in every single game going, like how we've been going. It's crazy. Andrew, can you imagine if we picked Jalen Suggs instead? No, and I don't want to even think about it. I mean, I purposely didn't listen to a lot of the hype and the talk about the draft pick this summer because I just wanted to be pleasantly surprised. And I wasn't involved in all this Suggs talking crap and this disappointment. And I was actually really happy when we drafted Scotty because I saw who he was. I was like, wow, this guy's specs are amazing. And the fact that he played for my alma mater didn't hurt either. So it was very easy to love Scotty right away for me because I didn't get hung up on Suggs in any kind of way. And actually, when I saw Suggs, I was like, what? You wanted us to get another undersized guard that just is a scorer? No, thank you. We'd much rather have the all-around player. Honestly, Scotty could be like not like LeBron size, but he is a generational talent. I really do believe that. Let's keep going. Oh my gosh. Hey, Mo, good morning. I'm glad to see you here this morning. Oh, that's awesome. The league ain't ready. Let's go. Feels good being healthy, doesn't it, Monique? Oh my gosh. It's so crazy, though, that we have the team all together finally this season, and we're not there. Oh my gosh. I know, Mo, you would be there. If I would be there if I could be there right now, but it's crazy. There's one person that's in a Facebook group with me that got to go to the game yesterday, and he was saying that he just happened to know someone who got in on some tickets. Like, it's people that know people that work for MLSE. They're getting to go to the game and sit in those. Like, there were maybe like 60 people there watching the game yesterday, but it was crazy. Sue saying in an interview a couple of days ago, Pascal said that Nate told him to start getting more rebounds. So he has been. It was that easy. We should have told him that before. Listen, I think Pascal's been a great rebounder all along. We just haven't really paid close attention to it because there's usually, like, the last couple of years, Serge was kind of like more of a pronounced rebounder for us and like different things like that. And last year, a lot of stuff got overshadowed with just the situation in Tampa and, dealing with Aaron Baines and different things like that. And Pascal having to play center, he did a lot. But yeah, I'm glad he's finally getting his kudos for having a more complete game with the assists and the rebounds right now, because Pascal is a very dynamic player. He can do it all. And like, honestly, the comparison sometimes, like, people have said Pippen, people have said different people from the past, he is his own person. But I'm really glad he's finally getting recognized for not just his scoring right now, because he is really a lot more than that. Monique, stay voting. Is beautiful to watch. Pascal, I'm glad to see that there's no hate for him and he's happy. Yes. The voting is so weird. I voted just a little while ago. I went to the NBA website and did it, through the regular system that we usually did. Do you guys remember when they used to have them in the arena with the little cards and the pencils, and you had to fill them out at the game and put them in the little box in the arena? Oh man, what those were the days in some ways. But yeah, I voted this morning. I was looking through everybody. They have Goran listed for All-Star. What are you doing? Anyway, I don't want to even bring him up today. But yeah, I put my votes in, and I voted all Raptors, and I voted for former Raptors on the other side, like Serge and Jakob and Jonas. That's how I always vote. But yeah, Monique's right. Vote every day, y'all. We can vote a lot, and we can really have a big difference. We have a whole country. We have a lot of global fans. There's a lot of American Raptor fans. If everybody votes for the Fred VanVleet, we will get him into the starting lineup, and then hopefully the coaches will put Pascal on the team also, because I believe they both deserve it. They really do, the way they're playing right now. Okay, G saying the team looked very long last night. They did look very long. Like in the second half, there was a couple of lineups that were just like stifling long. Like when you put Kem Birch, Chris Boucher, and Precious out there at the same time, which they can do because you don't sacrifice slowness and stuff like that with that lineup because they're so mobile. Precious is not really like a center to drag you down. Obviously, if he can run down the court and block that man's layup at the end of the game last night, So that versatility and the speed and the athleticism with the size allows us to do something that I've wanted us to be able to do for years. Have this really, really towering team that nobody can shoot over, that is still really quick. And with everybody involved and together, we can do this on the regular. And it's going to be nasty. And that, you can put Scotty down there with two of those center guys, and it's the same thing. You can there's so many different combinations that can lead to what we're talking about right here, that towering defense where we're just super tall compared to the other team. And oh my gosh, this is just the beginning, the horizon of a whole new era for the Raptors. And we just really started it with the calendar year right now. The beginning of the season really was just get through these stupid injuries, get us all healthy, and now look what happens. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Andrew said Kawhi was right. The board man gets paid. I love it. I love it. I love it. I wish Kawhi well. I want him back as soon as possible. I missed seeing him on the Clippers the other night. I want Kawhi to do well. I have no hate against Kawhi. I love Kawhi. A Knicks fan said, except for Freddie, they all look similar in length and build, and long arms caused many turnovers for them. Yeah, the turnovers were not too unequal. We had our fair share, and they did okay considering the lineup that they had out there. That B team, Knicks team, did okay handling the ball against us for the most part. But we did get a lot of points in the fast break, and we dominated them down low yesterday. It was really nice. But that's cool and interesting that's the Knicks fans' perception of us right now, is that other than Fred, we're all really tall. That's true. It is kind of, All right, I'm a fun guy. Let's go. Woo! Yeah. I mean, seeing Scotty out there finally, the last piece from the last game in there with everybody. Oh, such a joyous celebratory game. And now we've beaten the New York Knicks 3 straight games this season. We've already won the season series with them, and we beat over them in the playoff running. In the standing, we leaped over them into the playoffs, and that's fantastic. They're out, we're in, and we can just keep going. Now it's Boston we got to jump over. Boston, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Washington, all those teams are going to be below us in about a month from now. I really, truly believe this, that if we all stay healthy, there's no reason why this cannot happen. And I'm really, really excited about it. Fun Guy's saying it's extremely cold in the GTA. My God, it may be cold outside, but it was hot in the gym yesterday. Oh my gosh. It's weird with no fans. And wasn't it so iconic and interesting to see Masai sitting there all by himself in that whole section of the arena? It's like, that's a very iconic image to me now of what this architect that has designed this team, and him getting to survey the goods and the fruits of his labor out on the court now. And Nick Nurse has got to be just like ecstatic and giddy about the prospects and the ideas that he can try and put into theory on the basketball court now, with his players all finally here. And oh my gosh, it may be cold in Toronto, man, but it's going to be heating up for the Toronto Raptors on the basketball court right now. Oh yeah, it is. MK saying OG still doesn't get his call because he's so strong. Yeah, this is the Shaq thing. We've talked about this a couple times. Players like Shaq are so strong, they get hit. They don't get fouls called anymore because they don't flinch. They don't take the hit or anything like that. And OG is similar in that kind of way. He's like Shaq in that way. Like, he can get hit all over the place. Yeah, because sometimes, some of these plays were and ones. With, he's so strong, it looks almost like he's found the other guy, even though he's doing everything perfectly fine. And he's throwing it up and he's getting hit on the arm, but he doesn't flinch. It doesn't ruin his shot, so they don't even give him the and one. So there's a lot of that going on, and that doesn't just happen to OG. That happens to Pascal. That happens to Precious. That happens to Chris. Chris is not getting his and ones either. So yeah, it's interesting, that strength thing. Andrew saying Fred is like Curry light, or at least Curry extra light, fat free. Listen, honestly, he's playing like Steph Curry with these 30-point games and the way he's shooting threes. And we all know his range is not right at the 3-point line. This man can shoot all the way to half court. And if you just give him a little bit of daylight, he's getting it. I saw that one screen that Scotty did where he did ran from the top of the 3-point line towards the basket straight through. And he just gave Fred just enough daylight for him to just boom, put it in. I love this. I love this. And I really think this is a big thing for later in the season. The more we can develop Fred as an off the ball shooter and not having to carry the ball too much, the more it'll benefit him with his wind and his conditioning and how he feels at the end of the season. Because the first half of this season, he's had to labor a lot with like carrying the ball and carrying the team to a degree on his back. And hopefully now with everybody there, more development with the young guys and understanding how they can impact clutch situations, then that'll help these guys like Pascal and Fred not have to carry the burden so hard. But don't get it twisted. They are our go-to guys and our leaders in the clutch. They are our guys that will do the big shots. But it doesn't hurt to have a bunch of guys out there that possibly could do it, like whether it's Gary or, Scotty all of a sudden rising to the occasion and deciding, I want to be more clutch like my teammates. And I really feel like this is the stuff that's going to develop naturally with everybody being out there finally together. And oh man, and a big part of it is having all of our centers, because having Kem and Precious available allows for a lot of the shifting down in the positions so that we see something like Scotty Barnes playing 2 guard last night. Wasn't that insane? Scotty was our shooting guard in like parts of, and that was partly because Gary was fouled out, but it was still amazing to see. I love that. G saying a fun fact in the league, the most threes made this season are Curry, Buddy Hield, Fred, number 3. Fred is number 3 in the NBA for 3-pointers made. Wow, I did not know that stat. That's fantastic. You might have just gave me my next topic for my next trivia day. 3-pointers. I think I might figure that out. Lumpy Rex, go Raptors. I love it. I love it. I love it. What a great, fantastic day to be a Raptor fan. We see the promise, the future that's coming ahead and coming towards us. We can't wait for San Antonio tomorrow, can we? Does anybody not want this game tonight? I want it tonight. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I'm a fun guy. We still have at least a month to show NBA Fred. The NBA Fred and Pascal are all-stars. Yeah. And a big part of it is going to be winning. Because listen, if we're a losing team, they're not going to give us an all-star. They're going to give us the Canada discount and say we're a scrub team that's in Canada. No. That's why we got to go on a streak right now. That's why we got to get out there and get the dub. The dub. I love that thing. Scotty was doing that at the end of the Clippers game. That's all that matters, baby. They don't care about their personal stats. Fred doesn't care if he makes the all-star team. If he makes it, that's great. That's the right attitude. All they care about is winning and getting in the right position for the playoffs and kicking some ass in the playoffs. And that is the right mindset for the team to have, because that means there's no divas, there's no ego, there's no superstar stratification where Fred says, I'm better than y'all, I'm an all-star, y'all, I don't care about y'all. That happens on so many teams in the NBA. And I love that our leaders are not like that. And that's a leadership that's been passed down from the ones before, like Lowry and DeRozan, that is the kind of leadership you want on your NBA team. And that's why sometimes when you have a really, really talented superstar and they're like that can really mess up your chemistry and what your team's all about. And luckily, we don't have those problems here in Toronto. No, we don't. And you know what? I think, like I said, I think that they're both going to get in somehow, some way, because we're going to make enough noise, for, hopefully, in the next month, like you're saying. We do that in the next month, and they will have to really seriously consider them being in this game. Oh, yeah. My favorite part of Pascal, even when the fans were mad, he kept his posts positive, never complained, and just kept working. Yeah. Well, listen, there's a certain amount of shutting it all out. In fact, he made another post last night saying, please do not disturb. And it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not listening to everyone. Because you know what? As much as he gets all the negative things that people say about him during the different times this year, when everybody's saying amazing things about him, he doesn't want to hear that either, because he knows that can mess him up too. Give him a big head, maybe give him a little bit more of a self-importance, or, because that's a lot of people who are in the spotlight or do things that people scrutinize. They get either like put down or built up. They don't want to hear either of it, because they just want to do what they're doing and focus on that. Because you can get in a bad place if you're hearing too much good stuff too. So, Pascal is just doing everything right. And I'm so proud of him right now. He really is in a different level. And we said that he's like pre-bubble Pascal. No, this is a different Pascal, because this is time has passed and experience has happened. And that experience is Tampa and all the frustration and everything. And that's why this is so beautiful. And also you want to keep it protected more because you lost stuff like that. So you really, it's different. It's different. Let me tell you. All right, let me keep going. Click 2 a.m. Raptors basketball is the only entertainment I have right now. Might have gotten COVID. Oh man, sorry to hear that, Click. I know that I think you were saying the other day that you weren't feeling well. I hate to hear that. I wish you well as quickly as possible. Listen, just get as much rest as you can. You just do what you can, and if the light in your life is Raptors basketball, well, thank God this team is a badass and they're ready to roll, because you will have a lot of your spirits lifted watching Raptor games these days. I will tell you what. You will, because all right, San Antonio tomorrow, I'll do a little bit of a preview. They're going to lose to us because they've been losing a lot of games lately. I love San Antonio. They're a fighting team. Greg Popovich gets the best out of his young team. But you know what? They're missing their best player right now. And, they've been losing some games. So we should very much win this game tomorrow. And that will mean 500 overall, 500 at home. And that means basically a reset, start clean, and let's just go up. That's what I am saying. Oh, yeah. Click. I really hope you feel better as soon as possible. We don't want anybody in protocols. All right, let's keep going. MK47. Let's see. Boucher didn't play much, but he was active. He's looking like himself again. Yeah, Boucher was off the bench. He was our number one bench player, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, no turnovers. He was 4 for 7. He didn't hit either of his threes, but he hit all of his free throws. Chris actually played in some of the clutch moments that were important. I'm so proud of Chris, honestly, because he really is kind of coming into his own and really understanding what he needs to do as a basketball player to be successful. And he's finally doing it. I'm really, really proud of him. Let's see. Andrew, it's crazy that people blame Pascal for our struggles when our bench has been horrible all season and it's the main reason for most losses. No, that's not the main. Well, the bench is partly just because we haven't had any bench because we've been injured so much. Having so many different guys out, you realize how the depth gets messed up. Like we've really seen the two extremes in like the last 10 days. If you think about that Cleveland game and who we had to play, 4 of our bench guys with 4 G League guys to where we were yesterday, that is like the most extreme switch from like the very scraping the bottom of the barrel for your team to be able to play to everybody being there. And you see the difference in what talent does. And that's really what it is. We can't get down on not saying, oh, we don't have any bench. Well, if we don't have any players because everybody's out or certain people are out at different times so that we haven't had the full kind of bench effect that we could have, the full array of role players off the bench that Nick Nurse can utilize in different situations to help us for whatever we need at that time. That's the stuff we've been lacking. And, we've got it now. Hopefully we keep it for a long time, this toolbox full of tools. And, it's going to be so fun to see how he problem solves in different games, depending on matchups and who we have to deal with what he uses. And there's going to be all kinds of fun surprises. Definitely from Scotty Barnes and from other guys on this team. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I know we've been dogging our bench because the stats are bad. The bench scoring has been absolutely awful. But also we have to listen to what Nick Nurse said, that this year's stats should be thrown out the window because it's like a D League like years ago that he was comparing it to. There's so many guys coming and going. There's no continuity for the most part. That statistics don't really tell the true story in the moment because it really is based on personnel and who's available at that time. And when you have so many G League going in and out of the league on every team in the league right now, the stats are going to be all weird and messed up for every single team. So we can't look at the bench stats for this year. Well, I want to throw all stats out the window. Let's stay present as Raptor fans and let's just stay with where they are at this moment. And it's San Antonio coming up, and we just want one stat. That one. That's the only stat we worried about. That's all we want. And more of them. Stack them. Stack. All right, let's keep going. MK. Oh, man. Yeah. We all hope Click gets better. I'm a fun guy. I love Precious's grittiness on defense. He deters at the rim. Yes. This is the thing. Heat fans are dogging Precious this week, saying stuff like, and look, yeah, he doesn't shoot like that great. He was 1 for 5 last night? Listen, he had, okay, I want to point out three things about what Precious did. The first one is what you just said, fun guy. His greediness around the basket is fantastic. His defensive presence, his aggressiveness, his physicality with other big players on the other team. Then look at that block. The way he ran back and blocked that layup and didn't let them get that easy basket at the end of the game when we were already kicking their ass for a long time, that was fantastic hustle. And it just shows the pure, sheer athleticism of this guy. He's an amazing player. And then the last one I want to point out is that lob to Chris Boucher in the first half. That was so beautiful, and it showed a passing touch that Precious has. Precious can pass the ball too. So that just goes to the multi-dimensional layers of this team and the hidden surprises that we're going to find. That was a hidden surprise to me when I saw him throw that perfect lob to Chris. That I was like, so Precious, look, he is in a way at the end of our rotation in some ways, just because he's younger, just because he's rawer in some ways, but he still should be a very important, essential every game kind of player for us. But he may not get a lot of minutes in some games, but in some games, he may be a really key, important person who takes a lot of minutes, scores some, and gets a lot of important rebounds and stops for us. So I'm so proud of Precious. But to some people, they'll look at his stat line and they'll start calling him hot garbage for what he did last night. But no. You're not watching. You're not paying attention. So, yeah, I agree with you, fun guy. I call him ferocious Achua when he does those big moves, like whether it's a dunk or a block or something like that. Oh, ferocious Achua, look out. All right, Andrew, apparently Scotty is growing taller still. He's 6'10" now. That's what I'm saying. They listed this man at 6'7" at the beginning of the season. Now you're telling me he's 6'10"? He's grown 3 inches in 3 months? Oh my gosh, they better hope he stops growing soon because this man might be Taco Fall by the end of the season. Whoa. All right, let's keep going. Yes, I see so much potential in Precious. Yes, this is the thing. They were knocking Scotty in the draft. He just doesn't have a shot. Well, some of the knock on Precious, his biggest knock is he just can't shoot. Well, we can develop him into a shooter. We can help him figure out how to shoot and make his baskets more on a higher percentage as time goes on. You can't teach athleticism, skill, strength, and speed, and that's what he has inherently. And we can teach him the other stuff, the fundamental stuff, and he's going to get it. Oh, yeah, he's going to get it. There's been a lot of big guys like him that couldn't shoot when they first came in the NBA, and then they developed their game. They worked on it, and then all of a sudden they became a much more multidimensional offensive player later in their career. And I really see that with Precious. He's smart and he has the drive, and he's with the right team now to really get this going. I really see it because I don't think Miami really understood how to develop him last year. Part of the reason why he didn't have his better success is he was kind of getting jerked around with the Heat last year. Well, this year we want to make it very clear to him that he is a part of our future and that we will give him the opportunities to succeed. And he'll get them. Oh, yeah, he's just got to hang in there. I did get a little worried because he didn't get in so quick into the game. And I could tell maybe he was getting a little in his head, like thinking, oh, this guy didn't get in. This guy got in already or something like that. But he got in, and then he got good minutes and stuff like that. So it's really good. Let's see. G saying, yes, I see so much potential in Precious. Sue said, I saw U.S. Knicks post-game analysis, and they were really saying a bunch of great things about the Raptors and really talking up Fred. It was great to hear. They admitted that Fred was a top 10 point guard. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm glad that other teams in the NBA will start giving us kudos because we're going to deserve them soon. I mean, we don't really totally deserve them yet. Let's really prove something to the rest of the league. Let's get this crazy win streak coming up. And not only that, with like a bunch of big wins over huge teams, like Milwaukee's coming up. We got Milwaukee real soon. We got Brooklyn real soon. I want to see these games, like the top tier of them against the top tier of us. And then we'll really see who the best team in the East is because it's going to be so much fun. Honestly, I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. Sue, I saw a bunch. This is G saying, I saw a bunch talking about the Raps. One Knick fan knew the entire history of Masai and the difference in how they are building. I was surprised. There's some NBA fans that just study everything and they know everything. And, some people do have a blind spot for the Raptors. They don't pay attention to us and they're NBA fans. But yeah, some people, like Starscream, who comes in here, who's a Nets fan, he's probably a little bit of a Raptors fan also. So these, you have your second team, your third favorite team, stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of knowledgeable people of the NBA, and I love that there's more and more here in Toronto, because this wasn't a basketball city like 25 years ago. This was a very much a hockey city, and now this city has become a little bit more of a basketball city in some ways. I mean, the Leafs are still the most important franchise to a lot of people in the history and the tradition and stuff like that. But there's a huge basketball hive mind here also. I include myself in it. And, people like Monique, super fan, who's here with us this morning, these are, we and all of y'all, we know more about the sport after 25 years of having a franchise, and we're more learned. But the New York fans are really learned. Yeah, they really know the basketball and the NBA stuff because they love basketball. There's a lot of people that really love the NBA in New York. Let's keep going. Okay, Monique sent me a message, but she might have been cussing. It got retracted. Okay, let's not talk about Gary's last game. Well, let's talk about it. You know what happened with Gary? It's okay what happened with Gary. The referees were weird yesterday. If you notice the 7 quick calls after the halftime, at the beginning of the third quarter, the 7 quick calls on the Raptors, there's a little bit of making up like the disparity in fouls. Like, yeah, because like honestly, in the first half, we were getting all the calls. It was amazing. I was like noticing this, like, wait, are we going to the line more than the Knicks? Like, this never happens for us where we get to the free throw line and get more opportunities than they did. And we did. And one of the things y'all don't know, and I didn't realize this either when I was watching the game, was the refs are having COVID protocols also right now. So a lot of refs are out, regular NBA refs. So they've been calling up G League refs, and they're reffing our games in the NBA now. So we had a G League ref in the game last night. I don't think you guys knew this, or nobody really talked about it, but there was a G League ref in the game last night. So there's a little bit different of the quality in reffing. And Gary's, the way he's been playing this season, he's been so aggressive with his hands and trying to snatch the ball and doing stuff. I love that. I want him to do that. And he can continue to do that. That's why I wasn't upset at him getting so many fouls. And because we had everybody on the roster, it's like, that's fine. Let him get fouls. Nick will hold him if he's really worried about him being available for clutch stuff at the end of the game. He'll pull him in time to not get his 6th foul. Well, he got his 6th foul really early, but it didn't matter. It didn't really matter. And I have no problem with that because that shows he was playing aggressive. And it also shows that the refs were a little inconsistent last night with how they were calling things. And they were a little whistle happy. Let's just put it that way. They were whistle happy after halftime. And that's really what got Gary out of the game, is his combination of his aggressiveness and the whistle happiness. So, and I'm not mad at him at all for that, because like, honestly, that just shows that he's putting effort in. I'm a fun guy. I've been watching nothing but Knicks and legions of Knicks reactions to the loss. This is hilarious. You're one of these guys that loves to drink the cup of tears, and I love you for that. I'm a fun guy. Go and watch all the Knicks stuff and talk. I almost wanted to watch at the end of the game with the stream with the New York announcers just to hear how sad they sounded. But no, I wanted to feel the jubilation and hear our people, like the 3K ladies yesterday, Kayla, Kia, and Kate, calling the game, and Jack with Matt, and it just was a celebration. And it's weird with no fans in there, but in a way it's kind of like a weird kind of vibe, and safe and kind of more secure, because the fans can be a little stressful for the players in different ways. And when the fans aren't there and they see their family and their friends and they're out there instead, it's kind of like a little bit more comfortable for them in some ways, I think. I mean, not having noise, but it's really good that we have all our in-game ops right now. Like the fact that they're blaring AC/DC in that arena with nobody in there still, and we're still getting all those classic timing and the feels and like the fourth quarter start and stuff like that. The players have to really feel that. And that's something that was lacking at Tampa last year. There was no way they could get that correctly in the Amalie Arena. So even though we don't have the fans, and it's really weird, in some ways the home court advantage is still there from just the sounds of the building. And I love it. I love it, honestly. In some ways, I really love it. Let's see. G saying, I think Gary had COVID. He looked gassed. They all had COVID, guys. This is the thing. The guys who were out for a period of time, they all tested positive, and they all had. Scotty admitted it in the interview after the game last night. He had COVID in this past week. Fred's admitted it too. Pascal's admitted it. But you know what? It's a much milder one. And listen, Gary doesn't look that gassed. Like honestly, his shot looks really nice. Like when it swishes, it's really like whoosh, and like just precision. So I'm not worried about Gary. He's been playing at a high level for a lot of the season so far. But his history as a player is up and down. And so he had a 10-point game and an off night. It's not a big deal. Like I said, with the full complement of everybody, somebody's going to pick up that slack and put something up in there. And our three main guys are really carrying the water for the whole team in a really good way right now and leading the way. So I'm not worried if one guy has a bad game. Three of the other guys are going to have a super good game. So we'll be okay. Let's see. Feel better, click. Let's see. Gee, in my head, the refs didn't want Gary to be tops in steals. Oh, conspiracy against Gary being a leader in the NBA in steals. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think is the combination of having a G League ref out there with in the game and stuff like that, and little whistle happy. Monique, once again, I'm so glad you're here, Monique. Good morning. Can OG stay on the court for a full season? What do you guys think? I really hope so. I mean, his physical type of play does, sometimes lend to possible things, but he's so strong. He's such a specimen, like with his athleticism and like his stats as far as his height, he's a really strong guy, like for a wing. Like in the history of the NBA, there's been these really strong wings, and the way that they score is through like taking contact and finishing no matter what. And he's that kind of guy. I really wish the best for him, and I just hope everybody stays off of that list. That if I only see Goran Dragic's stupid name down there for leave of absence on the injury list every day, that'll be perfectly fine with me. So I'm just in general wishing all of them good health, but hopefully, yeah. And by the end of the season, I want to see OG become more of a consistent higher scorer. Like I want to see him average in the 20s, and like he could be the guy that wins some of the games for us and takes over in the fourth quarter. But I love the fact that they're using him right now to establish the down low. And this happened in both games, Clippers and this game, where in the beginning of the game, they went to him purposefully to get to the basket and make those close-up shots. That's really smart because that makes it easier for the outside shooters. You don't want to just go out there and start shooting threes. And that's why Nick said that he did that. He sent OG down there because he didn't want him to just start shooting threes to start the game. He said, you got to go to the basket and make one close first. I think he called it like opening the trash or something like that, or getting the trash. I don't know what he called. I forget. It was in the interview yesterday. Check it out. I'm a fun guy. Yeah, I heard about 30% of the refs right now in protocol. Wow. Yeah, we don't hear about them. Obviously, the NBA is going to keep that under wraps. They're not going to tell us that like the referees are having this kind of thing. It's happening in every population in the world. It happens at people's own work. It's happening in any kind of thing, So I just hope everybody has their own decisions and making their own life. And, you have to do what you have to do. Just try and, overall, if we can contribute to lessening this pandemic continuing, and by, hand washing, wearing masks, staying away from people if you can, all those kind of things, these sacrifices will help us end this sooner than later. And part of it is we didn't make these sacrifices soon enough. And that's why it's still happening later and stuff like that. But we're doing better and better and better. And I'm more confident being in Toronto than anywhere else dealing with this kind of stuff, because people in Toronto, we work together as a team. We're a collective, and we love each other and care about each other. And that's why we're working together. So let's keep going here. Andrew, oh yeah, I love watching Knicks podcasts after we beat them. Where's the Knicks fan that came in here after we beat them the first time this year? The Knicks like to come and check out the other teams too, like you guys are doing. And I was kind of, I guess they don't want to show their face here. No, of course not. Like I'm not trying to go and get on their podcasts or their live streams and stuff like that and see what they're saying and stuff like that. But yeah, the Knicks fan was here after the first game, I remember. And I haven't seen him since. But Nets fans comes around here all the time. I'm surprised Starscream isn't here this morning to talk about how bad the Knicks are, because he loves talking about how bad the Knicks are also, I think, along with Philly and the Celtics. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Monique, also, can you believe we are 1 month away from Kyle return home, but no fans? This is a tragedy. Honestly, it's just weird. Like, the Surge thing was really sad on New Year's Eve to me in some ways. Like you could tell the emotion underneath with Serge Ibaka of being in that building again with so many memories and so many things, and the fans not being there. It's just so bizarre and weird. And I'm glad that, I understand why MLSE did that package for Surge and showed it. It was beautiful, but it's kind of like, I hope they do it again when the fans are actually there and they do it properly so that they can really feel it. But like, yeah, if they do something like that for Kyle, we may need to hold off. We may need to be kind of like Danny Green with his ring right now, with all of the kind of kudos to our former guys who are coming back and visit. Because Norman's coming back soon too. He's going to be back in like, I think in a week or so, or no, at the end of the month, he's here. At the end of January, he's here with Portland. And, you know, these guys deserve so much more than this. Like, they need to hear the real fans in the building when they actually get the real thing. It makes me sad to think about this, Monique. I'm not going to lie. It makes me sad to think about. It makes me sad to think about Kyle never playing for the Raptors in a Raptor jersey before he left. Here in Toronto with our fans, all this stuff. The pandemic, these are the things that make me the saddest in some ways about what's happened in the pandemic. Thankfully, I haven't had too many tragedies in my life personally, but the Raptor stuff makes me sad. So, Andrew, the Ontario government is announcing more restrictions this morning. Yeah, in Quebec, they just shut down all the stores and things. Bars have already been getting shut down and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, if we have to do this little period of time, I mean, we're not going to have any fans at least for 3 weeks. So it is probably likely what Monique's saying, that we won't have any fans in there for when Kyle actually does come back. And it sucks. It sucks. It just means everything's going to be put back a little further again. Like, it may mean, I think we played them twice here at some point, and I don't know if they're both right away. I know one's in February. Maybe they're both, like, I think they're both right in a row. And then we played Miami later in the season. Yeah, it's just not ideal, and it sucks just the way the pandemic is and stuff like that. Anyway, guys, just real quick notes about the game still. I mean, I don't want to go over the bench guys each individually too much, because honestly, they all did pretty good. We did get more points off the bench than usual. Obviously, we played 14 guys, and, there were some bright spots. Obviously, Precious and Boucher, we were just talking about. I thought Kem Birch was really good, 3 for 3. Understated, just kind of playing within himself, letting the game come to him and doing some good stuff here and there. And I still love this 2-man game between him and Fred is just so beautiful. The way that there was one play where they passed it each other like 3 or 4 times back and forth until one of them made the shot. And that kind of stuff is fantastic. I love it. And Kem really is a kind of a understated leader on this team in some ways. Like, I could see him in the huddle holding his arms around everybody and, there's so many different characters on this team. That's why I really feel like on the down low, we have a championship caliber kind of team, because the character and the diversity and the role players and the talent and everything all together. Like, this team is built like a championship team. And people don't want to believe that because they were projected to be this rebuild and this development team and stuff like that. But seriously, the character on this team, the leadership, the tools, the things that we key on, defense, rebounding, and energy, these are all things that championships. I said it at the beginning of the season. I'm saying it now because I'm seeing it all together finally again. So tomorrow, San Antonio, I'll do a preview. I hope all of y'all will join me again tomorrow live sometime in around 9:30 Eastern live here, and we'll talk about it. And we'll hopefully we'll be previewing a great win over the Spurs, and we're back at 500. And not only that, there's only 3 more games till the Toronto Raptors franchise has 1,000 wins overall in the whole history of the Raptors. So 3 more wins, guys. And actually, no, wait, is it only 2? I think it's only 2 because we won the one yesterday. So 2 more wins. We win tomorrow. That means 1 more win. We got 1,000 wins. All right, let's go. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Thanks for being here this morning, guys. All the best. Let's start this week off right. It's sunny, and we know the Raptors are all healthy, and we're playing. Yeah, this is the best. I love it. Oh, my gosh, it's the best.